What is up, YouTube? That's it here, bringing you my first games in top 8 from my Nugget Bridge Live tournament, where I'm using Mega Metagross, leading off against Benster again, actually, the person I fought in the last round of Swiss. So, unfortunately for me, he actually knows my team, and I guess fortunately for me as well, I know a little bit about his, and I'm definitely going to use that to my advantage. But sadly, since he knows the power of my Metagross Save Live lead, I can't really lead with it again. So it's going to be the first time in the tournament I'm going to have to switch things up and go with Latios, Terrakion, Metagross, and Mamoswine. Same, like, core Pokemon, no Sableye this game. No, he's definitely not going to let that one happen again. He decides to switch things up too, deciding that Heatran just can't cut it here, going with a much better choice in Rotom Wash. So like I said, this is the person I played last round. We know a lot about each other's teams. I know that he's running Trick Room, and I think I can take him out. So we're going to start things up, get right into it, and yeah, hopefully show you guys some really cool plays. So, Benster issuing that challenge for a second time in a row. Latios and Terrakion going to be my leads. Hyper aggression here, leading off against Rotom Wash and Cresselia. And like I said, I already know that this Cresselia has a Citrus Berry on it, and it's a Trick Room Cresselia, which means there's no real chance of him going for like a Mental Herb play, trying to Trick Room me, so I can go for a very, very safe taunt with my Terrakion. This is a Sash Terrakion set, and it is not as fast as a normal Terrakion set, but it definitely should be able to get the job done. Opening up turn 2, we're going to go for a big Draco Meteor, actually landing a critical hit on the Rotom, but I didn't actually need the critical hit. You're going to see I actually follow up with a close combat on what was the Rotom slot, figuring either Rotom is switching or Rotom is just going to go down. It actually lets me get a little bit of chip damage off onto the Cresselia, but I was nuking that slot since the Protect was on cooldown, and I didn't really know how bulky the Rotom was, so I just figured I would KO the Rotom before I actually had a chance to do anything. We're then going to see the Cresselia fire back an Ice Beam onto my Latios, chunking it quite low and putting it in a very dangerous range. So we're going to see Latios switch out, doesn't want to eat Ice Beams, doesn't want to eat Hyper Voice. I also have that -2 special attack reduction going into Metagross to wall both of those attacks, actually, and we're going to see Terrakion pop a Protect for safekeeping. So we're going to see Psychic come out on the Terrakion slot and a Hyper Voice. And like I said from last game, I don't know anything about the Sylveon set. I'm assuming it's slow in a Trick Room, but last turn he didn't really try to set it up. So it could potentially be Scarfed. We're just going to go Mega Metagross and hope for the best, gaining that Tough Claws ability, making sure my Meteor Mashes hit like a truck. And we're going to see, I'm going to go for a second taunt on the Cresselia. Even if he wants to Psychic or Ice Beam me this turn, I really don't care. I would rather the Trick Room just not go up if at all possible. We're then going to see Sylveon go down to a second Meteor Mash in a row. Poor Sylveon never really getting to do that big damage that he really needs to carry the game. We're then going to see Cresselia reply back with a Psychic onto my Terrakion, activating my Focus Sash, but still leaving me healthy enough to pretty much like attack next turn before I go down. So we are then going to see his last Pokemon. I think it's his last Pokemon. I would like to say this is his last Pokemon. Kangaskhan come out. Kangaskhan going to Mega Evolve, gain that Parental Bond ability. And it's going to be Metagross versus Kangaskhan for the second game in a row. He has a super effective move in Sucker Punch against me, so I kind of have to watch out for that. We're going to see him open up with a Fake Out here. I just didn't really want to... After the game, the round 2 loss that happened in round 2, obviously, you saw me Protect with my Terrakion, play very defensive, and I didn't want to get set up on by Kangaskhan and have my partner nuked like last time, so I decided not to Protect there. We're actually then going to see the Cresselia go for an Ice Beam on my Metagross, and it's actually going to freeze my Metagross. I could not believe those hacks. That was ridiculous, but looking at the board, it actually doesn't come into effect at all. We're going to see him go for a Sucker Punch play on my Metagross, taking advantage of the fact he can't really do anything. He gets a critical hit, but I don't really think he needed it because he actually could have just hit twice. So Freeze not really coming that big into play. We're then going to see me go for a big Icicle Crash off onto this Kangaskhan. Chunking it for quite a bit, but not being able to finish him off. That is the power of the Jolly Mamoswine. If I was adamant, I would have KO'd it, but Jolly Mamoswine not going to cut it. But there are advantages to being Jolly in this matchup. One of them being I have a faster priority move, so we're going to see that coming out this turn. He's going for a Helping Hand, assuming it's going to be that Sucker Punch here, but Ice Shard is going to have that priority, taking out the Kangaskhan after a second turn. So now it's Cresselia versus the world versus Latios and Mamoswine. We're going to see me pop a huge Life Orb boosted Draco Meteor off onto this guy, and both of my Pokemon pretty much go down to the next attack from Cresselia. I don't really know if it has Moonlight or anything like that. we're going to see the Citrus Berry go off, but like I said, thanks to the special D reduced uh, Psychic that hit me the last turn on my Mamoswine, I can't really eat any more attacks. We're then going to miss a Draco Meteor, follow it up with an Icicle Crash, hoping for that 20% flinch, because I really can't let him Moonlight here. I actually pick up the flinch. I don't know what move he used, but even at -2, a Draco Meteor will be able to clean things out from here. It's kind of fortunate I got the flinch chance on the Icicle Crash, but missing the Draco Meteor was what put me in that position in the first place. So I am going to be able to clean out a second game against Benster. Very high level opponent. Just quite unfortunate that I knew he was going for Trick Room again in the second game, and I knew that he wasn't running a Mental Herb. If he had a Mental Herb on that Cresselia, it would have been a completely different series, I think, because I would have just taunted it and lost the game. So pretty good stuff. Like I said, this was my first game in top 8 of the Nugget Bridge Live. Tomorrow we're going to be going into top 4 against another person that you've already seen me play against. Let's see if you guys can guess in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.